move. Yeah, man, it's the weekend. I thought I'd just jump on here and go live for the fun of it to see who would show up and who's up this late at night or this early in the morning. Do I want that light on or do I want it a little darker since it's like a late night gathering? Yeah. Not sure who's going to pop in here or if anybody's going to. So I thought, what the hell? I have nothing to lose. It's now Saturday, I believe. Huh, let me look. Jeez, I don't even know what day it is. Yeah, it's Saturday. Hey, if anybody's in the chat, hey, what's going on, man? Guar fans in the house. Always was. What's up, man? How you doing? Just jumping in here to see who's up, man. I'm up. I turned the lights down to keep it more dark since it's early in the morning instead of a bunch of bright lights. What are you guys up to, man? What's happening in Canada, man? Guar fan. Oh, you're always up early? That's cool, man. Just woke up? Yeah, I haven't crashed yet. I've been a night owl since I was a teenager. Never learned to stop doing it. And I was doing gigs most of my life too, sometimes 3 nights a week, and we'd always get to bed at like 5, 6 in the morning. So I never really practiced going to bed early, which is nuts because most of my friends are in bed at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and it's 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Oh, I better sleep. Yeah, I just thought I'd see who would pop in, man. I have no idea. I thought, what the hell? I've never done a surprise live before. Should be waking and baking. I didn't get prepared, man. Yeah, I should have done a proper 420 session at 320 or whatever it is. I just realized it was freaking Saturday. I've been off on my days all week, man. You going to meet your buddy and follow Toronto, watch Loverboy at the exhibition tonight. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I saw some footage of Loverboy. I don't know, 6 months ago. I was watching some footage of those guys, and they definitely sound killer live still. Not sure if it's still all the original members or not. I think Mike Reno is still on vocals. Yeah, I know Mike Reno's on vocals. I'm not sure, but the band sounded killer and tight. So yeah, this should be a good show. Like wake and bake. Yeah, I didn't prepare to wake and bake. I could grab my utensils. Yeah, it's like 3:30 or something here on the West Coast. So it's 4:30 in Mountain Time. It's 5:30 Central Time, and it's 6:30 on the East Coast. So I thought, well, let's see who the hell's up this late or this early. No one's popped in yet that said they haven't gone to bed yet, so I'm the only weirdo. Turn me loose. Yeah, that's a great tune, man. They had a lot of hits, man. Turn Me Loose. Everybody's working for the weekend. Was that Loverboy or no? What were the other hit songs, man? Turn Me Loose is a cool tune. I bet live it's badass with the guitars. I can't see, man. Maybe I should add more lighting. Boom. Does that help me see? Yeah, it does actually. So yeah, here we go with the lights. 6:36 in Canada. I guess it's 3:30 here. I don't know, man. I'm pretty bad at time. I'm going to scroll down real quick on my screen and see if it tells me what time it is. It's 3:37. Oh, shit. 3:37 p.m. or a.m. here. Yeah, Turn Me Loose. God damn, they had a lot of hit songs, man. At least 3 or 4 that I can think of, but I can't think of. They were all over the radio back in the early 80s, man. Loverboy and MTV days, of course, they were all over MTV. So there's 12 people in here right now, man. Wow. Everybody say hi, man. Are you waking up? Are you just waking up or you still haven't gone to bed yet? because it looks like there's 13 people in here now. What's your reason for being up right now, man? Salem in the house. Yeah, 3:37 in Salem. Let the witching hour begin. Yeah, so it's the witching hour in Salem. And the witching hour here. Wait a minute, it's 3:37 in Salem, Oregon. Haha, right? I'm an idiot. I was thinking the witch trials in like Massachusetts. What up, man? Yeah, I haven't even gone to bed yet. These other people are just waking up. I don't go to bed till about this time of night. And I thought, why not jump in and do a live and see who the hell's in here, who's going to pop in here. Thank you very much, Guar fan. Quitting the alcohol was the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah, alcohol never worked out good for me either, man. Yeah, Salem, Oregon. And my daughter lives up in, my youngest daughter lives up in Portland. Yeah, alcohol is, you just stick with the sweet leaf, man. Up all night, sleep all day, scooter weed in the house. Yeah, man. I'm up all night pretty much all the time. Just jumping on here for the first time ever, doing a surprise live just for the hell of it, to see who's up or who's going to bed or what everyone's, doing. Yeah, man. Just thinking about doing some new vids. Got so many ideas, don't know which ones to do. Night owl. Yeah, I don't sleep well till the sun comes up. You're a vampire. Come on, admit it. Yeah, man. I have to take sleeping medication to sleep. I've been an insomniac my whole life. Got off the hard drugs and the booze, but screwed up my ability to sleep, so I had to get on sleeping aids, man. But I don't take those till about 30 minutes before I crash. I just smoke hella weed. I don't know why I didn't come prepared to do a 420 session right now. Actually, 20 people in the room. We could have quite the powwow. 11 people in the room. I got to stop looking at numbers, man. It doesn't matter. It only matters who's in here and who's communicating, right? So yeah, I should grab my 420 utensils. Utensils, like it's a cafeteria. A cafeteria for weed. Cheers. I love all your videos, but GG is the best. Did you ever hang out with El Duce? No, but I interviewed El Duce. Interviewed him. It was a few years before he died. I called his house. I had his number. And the chick he was living with would answer the phone and say, oh, he's too drunk to talk. And then El Duce would get on the phone and just be like, too drunk to talk. So finally he says, go ahead and mail me the interview, bloody. So I get the address and I handwrite an interview for El Duce, leaving space for him to leave his answers. And he mails it back within like a week. And I published it in my fanzine called Fanatic Fanzine. And I do have one copy of that left still. There's actually a story on this channel about that, about me interviewing El Duce. And I think I read the whole interview or something like that. I don't remember. But there's a story about El Duce on here. So yeah, I never got to meet the guy in person though, unfortunately. I was supposed to open for the Mentors in Detroit. So was GG. GG and me were on the bill with the Mentors in Detroit. I think it maybe Blondie's or somewhere. And neither one of us showed up. So it was one of those, there was quite a few shows where me and GG were on flyers, but we didn't show up. Champaign, Illinois. Where else, man? The Detroit one. And there was a Las Vegas one. Yeah, but that was one of those bills that it was going to be this crazy triple bill. Mentors, GG Allin, Bloody Mess, and then we just didn't show up. So it wasn't because we didn't want to. It's just because we couldn't get there, I guess. You plan out these gigs, and then when they came, if you couldn't afford to get there, you just didn't go. Yeah, if you scroll the video section and go down a long way, you'll find the video about the Mentors. It's got a lot of hits, that El Duce one. Yep. So there's 11 people in the house. Who's all here? What are you guys doing up? Oh no, Mr. Bill. What's up, Mary? Good to have you here, man. Yeah, Mr. Bill, he's always hanging out with me. He's hiding out from Sluggo. Hello from Holland, Europe. Well, what's going on, man? Good to have you here. I'm just doing an impulsive live at 3:30 in the morning, Oregon, USA time, just to see who the hell would show up, man. Hello. How do you pronounce that, man? Ben Luxers or something. Anyway, I'm bad at pronouncing things. So hello. Hello, hello. 10 people in the house. That's enough for a little party. Come on, man. I should put some music on or something. It's quiet in here. 643 Great Lakes State. Nice, man. Arizona. I don't think there's any Arizonans in the house. Alice Cooper. Yeah, Alice Cooper rules. Love Alice Cooper. Seen him a lot of times. The dude's a workaholic, though, man. Alice never stops working. He's touring right now with the original Alice Cooper group. And I was just saying to somebody today, I want to go to that freaking show if it comes to Portland. Portland's about 5 hours north of where I live in Oregon, though. I'm like down by the border of Northern California, you know, way closer than Portland. I'm down here in the mountains. But yeah, I'd love to see Cooper on that new tour, man. She says me on my brother's account. Who's me? And then also Ozzy. Someone said, Ozzy, what's up? Kevin, what's happening, man? Yeah, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Big Ozzy fan here, man. Got quite a few videos on this channel about Ozzy. I met Ozzy once, and I gave him this card. It was in my wallet. I said, could you autograph this, Ozzy? He said, yeah. I gave him this card, and I didn't know what it was. I just hurried up and grabbed a card out of my wallet. And on one side of the card, it said, are you stoned or stupid? It was like a joke card. And Ozzy, he's like, ah, he started completely busting up laughing. And then he signed the back of that card for me. That was 1981 on the Blizzard of Oz tour with Motorhead opening in St. Louis, man. And we smoked opium at that show. 1981. That was badass. First time I was exposed to Motorhead. That's okay. I don't know how to spell that good either. I'm just kidding. Actually, I do know how to spell pretty good. I was just giving you a hard time. Hey, Brutal Enough. What's happening, man? I just popped in to do this impromptu live because I haven't gone live in forever. And I thought, let's see who's up at 3:30 in the morning, Oregon time, and on and on. So yeah, someone said Master of Puppets by Metallica is the best. Personally, for me with Metallica, it's Kill 'Em All. That's because I got into that band right when that album came out, and it was just like the heaviest shit ever. And I was like, ugh. And then next thing I know, I'm into them for a long time, and then I start seeing people at the mall wearing Metallica shirts everywhere. I'm like, the band I discovered that were so heavy, and they always were good still, of course. But Kill 'Em All is my go-to. Thank you, man. Guarfan says that was a good Ozzy video that I did. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, man. There's other ones on the channel, too. Bloody Miss and Hate on the old record player. Oh, I'm sorry for your bad luck. God, how do you listen to that garbage? Guns N' Roses. Oh, yeah, I'm not a big fan, but, you know, they're okay. They're a good rock band. Metallica sounds sterile to me. Yeah, I just like the first album. Kill 'Em All is my thing. I'm always honest about my music taste, but I don't dislike any bands. I like all rock and roll, and I find something good about all the bands. But, you know, Guns N' Roses, when they were making it big, I was really, really immersed in hardcore nihilistic punk rock, and I just wasn't into anything on the radio, so I missed the boat, man. Later, I got into it. Now, Motley Crue, that's a band I got into right when the first album came out, man. Too Fast for Love. A killer rock and roll record, one of the best. And I got to see them a few times on the Shout at the Devil tour, doing a lot of acid. I've seen them a couple times. But then I saw Crue later in like the 2000s, and they were absolutely unbearable. We all walked out like 5 people during maybe halfway through the show for many reasons. It just became bad, man. That sucks. But I love the first 2 Crue records the best. So that's just my opinions, though, man. You know, I know other people have different opinions, so that's all. It's just one dude's opinion. Hanging out here at almost 4 in the morning to see who would pop in. Doing an impromptu, unplanned, live, just chat with everybody, man. See what's happening. What's happening? What's going on with Vince Neil? Heard he was sick for a while. I don't know, man. I don't know if he was sick or not. I know Michael Monroe from Hanoi Rocks reported seeing him. I don't know. It's been a while now, and he said he was doing good, but I think it's been a while since I've heard anything about Vince Neil. I don't know. Oh, you were excited when you found out I interviewed Chris Reifert from Autopsy? Cool, man. Yeah, I also interviewed Danny from Autopsy too, the guitar player. He's on my Church of Rock channel. If you don't know, I have another channel with a lot of music and all my rock interviews from my 25 years in radio. It's called The Church of Rock, all one word, and you can subscribe there if you would. Hello from Dublin, Ireland. What's up? How you doing? Good to have you here, man. Vince Neil can't sing anymore. I'm not going to argue with that. Did I play at St. Andrews or the State in Detroit? No, I played at, oh shit, was it? I played Detroit 2 or 3 times, and I'm getting ready to play there again. I'm not sure when, but with West Beach of the Plasmatics, we're doing a Plasmatics tribute show, and we're going to do one show only in Detroit. It was not even set up yet. I forgot where I played in Detroit. You can look it up on the internet, though. Type in Bloody Mess live in Detroit, Michigan. It'll pop right up. I played there with a band called The New Disease. Bloody Mess and The New Disease, like 2009 was the last time, I think. And then I played there in 1999 at a festival with my band, The Veins. Freddie Mercury, yeah, he is a legend. Big Queen fan here, man. Big time. Love Freddie Mercury. Oh, cool, man. Thanks, Roy. Thanks for being here. Edinburgh is 11:50 a.m. in the house. I can't wait to go back to Scotland, man. Cheers to Edinburgh. Yeah, Roy Harper's hat. What's happening, man? Anthony, how you doing, man? Good to have you here, my friend. Chris is in the house. Hope there'll be a video of the Plasmatics tribute. Oh, yeah, man. We won't do anything without promoting the shit hell out of it, you know? We'll record every aspect of that. Me and West Beach are doing a Plasmatics 6-song tribute EP right now with 2 original songs, which we're already working on, and 4 Wendio and Plasmatics cover tunes. Twisted Sister, big fan here, man. Yeah, I got to see those guys a long time ago in like the early 80s when they were still just getting big, and they're huge. I mean, literally huge. I was standing down here, and freaking Dee Snider was like 8 foot tall with his boots on and stuff. It was crazy. Hello there. Hello, hello. If I didn't say hello to you. 14 people in the house, just doing an impromptu live gathering of the tribe. Good luck with that record. Yeah, I'm doing a new music video too right now called Dark Days, and the song's on YouTube already. Just Bloody F Mess Dark Days with Sammy Town from the band Fang and Dave Moe on all the instruments. And we're doing a music video with Mike Garrett producing it. Starting this week, I'm getting my video parts done. It's going to be a sick video, man. What's your take on Falling in Reverse? Oh, Ronnie, I love his anger. He cracks me up. I'm not a big fan of the music, to be honest. My daughter and I always send each other, like almost every day, I'll wake up with a big LOL, and I know it's going to be a Ronnie Radke rant. Me and my daughter crack up on him. So, yeah, I think he's funny as hell. But I'm not a fan of the music that much, although, yeah, he's talented. Nirvana, big fan. Yep, Green Day. I like some of their stuff. I liked them before they got really, really big. I like the early Green Day when they were an independent punk band playing in, like, I think, San Francisco. Bloody, do you play an instrument too? No, I do not. I'm a writer. I write lyrics. I'm a manager, a promoter. I used to be a booking agent. I'm a vocalist. I've done acting, but I'm not a musician, man. Not per se. I don't play any instruments. I write lyrics, and that's my thing. The Doors. That's one of my all-time favorite bands. Yep, Jim Morrison fanatic, and I love the Doors. Love them. My favorite albums, the first one and the last one. The first Doors album and LA Woman. Dookie, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, that was a good record. Did real well for those guys, you know. Yeah, they used to play down at the Gilman DIY space down in Frisco before they got big, and they used to be in all these fanzines I would read about. Next thing you know, they're like huge. I'm like, wow, they made it. They made it to the big names. Van Halen or Van Hagar? Absolutely Van Halen. Diamond Dave, man, come on. One of the best frontmen in rock and roll. Nice and White Satin. Yeah, I love the Moody Blues, man. Morrison Hotel. Oh, yeah, that's my third probably. I love Morrison Hotel. I love the song Blue Sunday on that one. And I love that whole album is killer. Yeah, Morrison Hotel rules, man. Great one. I love Jim Morrison's the spoken word album they put out, An American Prayer. That's amazing. Morrison Hotel is absolutely one of the best though, man. Oh, what's the other one on there, man? Peace Frog, I think, is on that. Wish I ever saw Waylon Jennings live, man. Yeah, I got to see Waylon Jennings quite a few times, including once with the Outlaws. But I saw him solo a few times. Really fucking good, man. Waylon was great. One of my favorites of all time, actually. I'm a spy in the house of love. Yeah, The Spy, The Doors. That's another great tune on that album, man. Absolutely. Rest in peace, Waylon. I wear a Waylon Jennings belt buckle that my mom bought me in 1995, and I've worn it every day since then. Paramore, my youngest daughter is a fan. She took me to see him one time, and we met, I think their singer's name's Haley. I got to meet Haley and a couple of people in the band. What up, Chris and Chris? Burzum. What's Burzum? Is it something I'm not hip to? People throwing out album titles and bands. That's cool. Starts little conversations, man. Gotta go. Happy I saw you live. Very cool. Thanks, Mary. I appreciate you being here. Yep. You have a killer weekend too. Cheers. Mary has left the room. Anthony took his daughter to the Oregon Vortex like 20 years ago. Cool, man. I live like 15 minutes away from that. Tracy, my wife went to that recently. Black Sabbath. Yeah, I love Black Sabbath. Love every incarnation. Ozzy, Ian Gillan, Ronnie James Dio. Got to see him with Ian Gillan one time, and there's a story on this channel about that. It's pretty intense. And I caught Carlos Cavazo from Quiet Riot having oral sex with a groupie in this truck. Long story, but I was tripping on all this acid. Kept falling off my chair. A really crazy story about Black Sabbath with Quiet Riot. I think it was 1983 or 84. And it's on this channel under the video section. Crazy story. One of my first stories I did. Got to scoot. Take it easy, Rob. Thanks for being here, man. Cheers, my friend. Have a great day. Tyler's in the house. Iron Maiden. I love Paul Di'Anno era Iron Maiden the best, but I'm a huge fan of Bruce Dickinson. I've seen him a lot of times, probably 9 times. But Paul Di'Anno, I never got to see him live, but I love those first 2 Maiden records and also Made in Japan, the live one. But yep, anything with Bruce is killer too. You know, those guys still rock too, man. Iron Maiden's the shit, man. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm a big fan of the first album and Freaky Styley, I think the second album. After that, I'm a fan of some of it. But that first album by the Chili Peppers is really special to me, man. Because I got it right when it came out in 83, 84. Great record. Megadeth, yeah, I never used to like them. Now I do. Yeah, I like them now. I was rocking to them the other day. 9 Inch Nails, not a huge fan. Not really. I like some stuff. Not really. I'm not a big fan of Trent Reznor or 9 Inch Nails, but a lot of my friends love them. So I've heard a lot of stuff by him. But Trent's a cool artist. I respect him, you know. You saw you saw Dio with Sabbath? I never saw Dio with Sabbath, man. I saw Dio once solo, but not with Sabbath. I would have killed to see Heaven and Hell or the Mob Rules live. That would have been sick, man. That Heaven and Hell record, probably one of my favorite top 20 metal records of all time. Heaven and Hell's killer, man. Also, the album they did with Gillan, man. You got to admit, man, some people hate it, but I love Born Again. Such a great record, Disturbing the Priest and all those killer tunes. Marilyn Manson, his early stuff is top notch. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, his early stuff was great, man. Yep. He kind of changed a lot along the way, but a lot of people do. I mean, time changes some people. Some people never change either. Do I like the Red Hot Chili Peppers? I like the first album, a couple albums. Yeah, I don't really like all the radio friendly stuff too much. I've seen them a few times. That riff to Heaven and Hell, so classic. Oh my God, man. Heaven and Hell. Yeah, that's a great record, man. That's a great riff. Yeah, money does change people. You know, absolute power absolutely corrupts. And when people start getting a bunch of money, man, they do change. It's just a fact. We were having a talk about this yesterday, man. What do you think of the Aussies? Seen him a few times. Of the Aussies? I don't know them, man. Damn, I missed out on them. Antichrist Superstar was Manson's opus. Yeah, that's a good record, man. It is. Yep. Money does change people, though, for sure. It really does, man. If I got really rich right now, I wouldn't change shit, man. I'd live in a house about the same size I do now. I wouldn't go out and buy 5 cars. I wouldn't be spending it all because you see all these guys with just mega money, and then 10 years later, oh, they're now bankrupt and they're wanted by the FBI for IRA tax evasion and they're miserable and poor. Why did you have to be so greedy? It's like I would help other people, man, and I would also just live. I'd get a few things, but I wouldn't spend a lot of money and be an idiot. There's a message that's held for review. I'm going to view that message right now, by God. Got it. Doesn't say what it is, though, still. Let me see if I can see that message. Antichrist was fucking awesome. They're trying to censor you for saying fucking. What a ridiculous joke. How many Chris's are in the house in the chat right now? How many Chris's in the chat? There's 25, at least, people in here, I think. Mechanical Monsters, that was a good one. Yeah. Didn't that have The Dope Show, or was The Dope Show the name of the album? I love The Dope Show. That's a great song. What do you mean by me's? Me, LOL. I don't know. Mechanical. I don't know. I'm lost, man. I'm just trying to read the screen, dude. Maybe I should put it closer. Yeah, that might help. Duh. Genius. 23 people in the house having like a little breakfast rendezvous. We should all be smoking out right now or doing something, drinking some sausage or eggs. Me, LOL. I'm Chris. What up, Chris? Pentagram and Hank 3. Yep, I'm a fan of both. I love Pentagram, man. And I met Hank 3 once when he was with Super Joint Ritual. Yeah, when I interviewed Phil Lonsama one time. Hank the 3 came on the bus while I was doing the interview with Phil. Yeps, indeed. Mechanical Animals was the record. Yeah, that's a good one. Dope Show, great song. I'm stuck on that one. Hey there, what's up, Mark from Punk Media is in the house. He's probably thinking, what a mad, what are you doing live right now? I haven't gone to bed yet, bro. You know how it is, bro. I'm just up. I thought I'd impulsively go live tonight and see who would pop on. Is Hank 3 still making music? I heard he kind of stepped back and was like kind of quiet for a while, but I think I heard he is doing something new again. Pretty sure of it. And now there's Hank 4. If you guys didn't know, I did a deep dive on Hank 4 recently. Coffee with Bloody. Yeah. Except I don't have the damn coffee, man. I got some Ensure. Chocolate Ensure because I have an eating disorder, so I have to drink this shit to give me protein. But I have no coffee. Hey, Punk Media's in the house. Primus sucks. Yeah, I love Primus, man. Yeah, Les Claypool's the shit, man. I got to see him with the Claypool, what is it? The Lennon Claypool Delirium. That was great. The only thing missing was the LSD or the mushrooms on my part. Hank 4, learn something new. Yeah, look him up, man. He's got a lot of music out. He's kind of a lot like Hank 3, and then he does a lot of traditional stuff, like real old country sounds, and he also does heavy stuff. So yeah. What's up, Mark? You just waking up, man? Punk Media, Mark, are you just waking up, bro? Yeah, I got to see Primus once. Ensure drinks are awesome. They really are. A friend of mine gives me a couple cases a month for free. She's like, do you want these? Because I'm, a little underweight. So I get these cases of Ensure. They're like chocolate and vanilla, and I'm addicted to them, man. I made some smoothies tonight with like hand-picked blackberries from yesterday with bananas, and I put a little vanilla Ensure. I put some almond milk that's vanilla flavored and made these killer smoothies, man. So yeah, anyway, enough talking about health drinks. Why not talk about unhealthy drinks? I'm just joking. I ran out of my drink, I think, man. I need coffee with Mark. Do you think about country music? I love it, man. I did a country record in 95 called Bloody and the Country Trash Punks. I also fronted a band called the Renegades for a couple of years that was a professional country band. We played bars, events, corporate functions. We did 4 sets of music a night. We did like Waylon Jennings, David Allan Coe, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard. We did it all. And we did a lot of new country, which my drummer sang, but I sang all the old country stuff. It was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. I made a living doing that country music for a while. So yeah, I love country, especially outlaw country, old mountain music, hillbilly music, honky tonk, western swing, all that good old stuff. Hank 3 is to do a good cover of GG's Outskirts of Life. Yeah, I did see that on somewhere on YouTube, I think. That was great. I know Hank's a fan of GG's too. What do I like about country music? I just think it's great, man. There's a big thin parallel between punk and outlaw country. It's just really the beat of the music and the style of dress, but it's, I don't know, hard to explain. But to me, I used to hang out with bikers and outlaw country kind of dudes and punk rockers. And there was some that liked, some outlaw country guys that love punk rock and some of the punk rock guys that love outlaw country. So I started doing that. I started doing kind of both. Webb Pierce is great, man. Carnival of Excess. Yeah, that's a great country record. It's sitting right here, as a matter of fact. Speaking of Carnival of Excess, right here in my hands, GG Allin's country blues record on Ponk Media. Yeah, man. You can find it on all streaming platforms and also on 8-track cassette and cylinder. Joking, man. Yeah, this is a cool record, man. GG's record. It's just a fantastic record. Of course, my favorite track is Carmelita. Can't lie. It's the cover that, Warren Zevon did originally. It's so freaking good, man. All right, another message that's being held for review. I hate being censored. Let me read it. He says, hey, Hank 3 did drink, fight, and fuck. Yeah, I think so. You can show that comment. We're all adults here, for Christ's sake. Oh, another moderator just handled it. Oh, I can't handle it myself. What's going on, man? I hate censorship. Shit pisses me off. Cylinder. Yeah, man. GG, Carnival of Excess. It's Bloody Mess's free promo minute for GG. It's for GG, man. I'm taking one for the team here, bro. But, it's got other stuff too. Snake Man is killer. No Rights is great. Son of Evil, Carmelita. Outskirts of Life is great. Great record, Mark. Punk Media. I think there's a new release coming out, Mark, on Punk, right? Isn't it? Am I blowing the whistle, or can you tell about what's coming out on Punk that we're all excited about? I think it's like a split or something, right? 17 people in the house on a Saturday morning. Yeah. I'm waiting for Punk Mark to tell me about his new release. If he's gonna, he might not. He's not one to be peer pressured, you see. Just because I say, hey, do this, he's not going to just do that. Yeah, the GG and Tiny Tim split's coming out, man. That's going to be on vinyl, I believe. Yeah, GG Allin on one side and Tiny Tim on the other. That's amazing. Like, whoever would have thought, man, So cool. Tiny Tim, the man, the myth. Got to hang out with Tiny Tim one time for about 8 to 10 hours. It was a really wonderful experience. I always say it was one of the most real musicians and real people I ever met, man. Yeah, it's a Tiny Tim Splits 12-inch. Kick ass, man. So is it GG material from Carnival of Excess, and is it Tiny material from the Tiny album you put out, or is it other stuff, or what is the story on that? Just curious, man. Trying to let people know what's going on. Tiny and GG were so similar. Ha ha ha. Well, you hung out with both of them. They were both very eccentric. It's all acoustic. Genius. That's cool. They were both eccentric. They were both extreme. They were both one of a kind. They were both good people when they wanted to be. Tiny, extremely nice person. Pretty much all the time, I think. Smoking some hemp. Adrian's in the house smoking some hemp. Well, hey, have at it, man. You're making me want to smoke, but I feel like I'm a rude prick if I walk away and grab my weed and my pipe, because then you guys are sitting here looking at a picture of me when I was 18, flipping you guys off. Mr. Bill, Lemmy, and HR Puffin stuff. Yeah, what a gang. I can't leave. I should say to Tracy, hey, woman, bring my weed, fetch my slippers and my pipe. I'm just kidding, man. You know what you should say? Fuck you, dude. I need to smoke some freaking anything, man. I'm out of my drink. I'm sitting here holding a copy of the Punk Media GG Allin CD now. See? Told you it's a promo. It was all set up by me and Mark ahead of time. You guys thought you were coming to a live, but really, it's an ad for GG Allin on Punk Media. Yep, it's the biggest swindle ever, and we're glad to have you in on it. All you have to do is pay $6.66, and we'll... I'm kidding, man. Adrian's laughing. Punk Media is off to get more coffee. Yeah, rub it in, bro. Have a great day, man. And put some extra cream and sugar in that coffee for me. Already in the wake and bake session, huh, Chris? Yeah, Virginia. Chris is in the house in Virginia. Adrian's in the house saying, talking about Mr. GG. Did you guys see my latest video that I put up last night about GG hanging out with my ex-girlfriend? Yeah, that was up last night. If you haven't seen it, it's up now. It's about a 30-minute video. Tell us some stories about punk. Well, back in about 96, I'm going to guess. I'm guessing 96. I started writing back and forth with Mark from Punk Media, but he was doing vinyl retentive records at the time. It wasn't Punk Media then. So I kind of started writing back and forth. I knew that he was in touch with GG and blah, blah, blah. Because GG knew a lot of people that I knew across the country. It was like a weird connections that were made. A lot of friendships were shared. So I didn't really get to know Mark that well, but we did trade stuff. He sent me stuff in the mail, you know. I don't know what he would have to say about me back in those days, what his memories are of us communicating, but it wasn't a lot of communication, but there was some. And like I say, he had Vinyl Retentive going, which is a cool label name, man. I don't really have any other stories except that Punk Media has put out stuff by a lot of eccentric, trippy people like Nervous Norvis, Sleepy LaBeef, GG Allin, Tiny Tim, and yours truly. My last album, Dark Days Unfazed, which is right here, is also on Punk Media on all digital streaming platforms. And you can go on to all digital music streaming platforms to type in Bloody Mess Screams the Blues. It's a 6-song EP that Punk put out last year. And it's got 3 studio tracks that are by me that are previously unreleased and 3 live tracks from different eras. Pretty cool, including a cover of a Doors tune. So yes, Bloody Mess Screams the Blues. You go on YouTube or anywhere you get your music at, and it's Punk Media's got it up there, along with my newest album, Dark Days Unfazed. Time to put on your foil hat. William's in the house. What's up, dude? Punk must have had nerves of steel working with all these people. I have to agree with you. Yeah, you definitely have to be willing to put up with some crap and swallow your pride a lot when you hang out with people like GG. You have to work, there's going to be times that you'll have to be able to defend yourself and not back down with people like that too. Because, with me and GG, that wasn't a problem because, well, the very first time we hung out, within about an hour, we were so plastered on whiskey that I threw GG down a flight of stairs, and he came running up the stairs, and he was like all fists. And I was laughing. I was literally so hammered. I wasn't feeling any punches. I was literally an obnoxious 19-year-old. He was 29. He's like, motherfucker. He was so mad. And I go, man, I wasn't trying to fight you. I was just getting rowdy. Come on, you fucking getting out, bent out of shape. Quit punching me. And he stops. It was like a slow motion movie. He stops punching me. He's like, oh, you didn't mean to? I go, yeah, I meant to, but not in the way you think. I was just getting crazy, bro. Sorry, I didn't mean to push you all the way down the stairs. And he stopped. Don't you ever throw me down the stairs again. I go, I said I didn't mean to. I won't, bro. So at that point, even though I was the aggressor, that I really didn't mean to be, it was whiskey. And I did back down when he got in my face and was punching. I said, look, man, I'll never do it again. Okay. So I had to swallow my pride. But with me and Gigi, it was a weird dynamic like that. But, at least he knew then that I wouldn't be the kind of guy that it could be pushed around either. Anyway, that story is something I already told on this channel about the first time that Gigi came to Peoria, Illinois. Why couldn't the bike stand up? Is this a joke you're telling? I don't know. Why couldn't the bike stand up? It was too tired. It was too tired. Good one, man. What an idiot I am. I'm like trying to figure it out. Great. Good one. That's funny, man. All my jokes are all super offensive, man. People always get pissed off at my jokes, so I don't tell them much because they're all offensive. Like real offensive. Let's see here, man. Gigi was in Gacy mode. Gacy mode. Nah, he was just, if you threw me down a flight of stairs, I'd definitely come punching a person too. But like I say, I was just a real radical dude. I was 19 with a big mohawk. Gigi was 29 and exhausted from traveling across the country. Comes to my house. We crack open the bottle of whiskey and a bunch of beer, doing a bunch of shots. And next thing you know, we're hammered. I turn the music up loud and I'm just jumping around, happy that Gigi's at my apartment. And I just threw him down the stairs. I did not mean to hurt him. I'm not bragging about doing it. I wasn't a tough guy. But Gigi was just really pissed off, which I would have been too. I should tell one what. Don't even go there, bro. 22 people in the house. This is an impromptu live session. I started at 3:37 a.m. and counting. How did the barber win the race? Okay, we got a comedian in the house. William's telling us jokes. I guess that's okay, man. How did the barber win the race? He knew a shortcut. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Okay, bro. We appreciate the jokes, but I'm just joking. Oh, man. There's something written in Russian or something. You wasn't a tough guy? I'll tell it to your mother. Hey, Bloody, was there any reason why you and Gigi stopped being in contact in the last years before he died? We weren't, it was maybe the last year and a half before he died. Nah, there wasn't really a reason. I guess there were a couple of reasons, but there was no falling out, I should say. There was never a day where I said, bye-bye, I'm not talking to you again. Or he said, F you, Bloody. That never happened. What happened was I got with Tracy, who was pregnant, and Gigi started getting into his GG Allin mission trip. And he got really, he was different. He went to prison and he wasn't the same guy that when he met me, he was telling me stuff like, man, Iggy Pop is God. And you got to hook me up with Iggy, man. Because at the time I had Iggy Pop's phone number and I used to call his house. And I called him one time because Gigi's like, if you can somehow get me on a recording with Iggy Pop or vice versa, man, I'd do anything because he's God. So I called Iggy's house and his wife at the time, Suki, who I think was the person he wrote about with the song China Girl. She's like, oh, Jimmy on tour. Because, his friends call him Jimmy. She's like, Jimmy on tour. And so Gigi used to tell me how much he loved Iggy. And then, a few short years later, he was like, became really hardened after he went to prison. And all of a sudden he's saying stuff like, people like Iggy Pop and Alice Cooper and Guar, anybody that does fake blood or just any of these other people, they're not, they're not worthy. And I was like, wow. So the guy that I knew had changed dramatically, and I still loved the guy, still loved him, what he was doing, still supported him, But I told him, bro, I can't get behind this mission stuff. It's just not my thing, man. And the same people that you hate, I love those musicians. I love theatrics and rock, but I love Gigi the most because he was so damn extreme and real, right? But there was no particular thing. I saw a video with somebody interviewing Gigi, maybe down in San Diego, and they were like, hey, Gigi, where's Bloody at? And he's like, I have no idea where Bloody is. And then I saw another one from like South Carolina, I don't know where, and they asked him, hey, where's Bloody Mess been? And he's like, Bloody's in love. Bloody's in love. And he wasn't lying. I was in love. I was having a kid. I was hanging out with all these serial killers and crazy people and with Gigi. And I had just recently quit my own band, Bloody Mess and the Scabs, because we were one of the most decadent bands that ever walked the earth. And we broke up after 8 years. And I just kind of almost lost my child because of a lot of my bad behaviors and a lot of stupid shit I was doing. And I decided I really wanted to stay in music. So I decided to quit the nihilistic kind of punk shit I'd been into since like 84, 85. So, from 1980 to 1994, I was a hardcore alcoholic, a hardcore decadent life liver. I'd been arrested 30 times, probation, 15 times. I'm telling you, man. And it went on and on. But once I had my kid, I was like, I don't want to be the father that I didn't like. I don't want to be the father that wasn't there for me. And I'm not the kind of person that's going to have my own blood walking around in the same town. And I'm not even going to be like stepping up to the plate. You know what I mean? So I had to make a choice at that point in my life because I was really going downhill with my drinking and drug use and whatnot. And I decided to keep doing music, but I decided to go the country path. And that's when I started doing the country music. I kind of quit punk rock for a couple of years just to get my head out of the sleaze, out of the decadence, the constant sex, drugs, rock and roll path, because I had to either pick my chick or a bunch of chicks or my kid and no kid. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make a choice. There you go, being brutally honest. Hello, Eric. Hello, Adrian. Still in the house. Listen to me ramble. But yeah, talking a little bit too intimate. The right decision. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just a hard thing to talk about because it's, I like I say, in 1980, I would have been about what? I was born in 66. So I was 14 years old. I was institutionalized for the first time. I was drinking like a fifth of whiskey a day or a bottle of Mad Dog MD 2020 every day, right? Getting kicked out of the school systems, getting placed in alternative schools, getting kicked out of those, getting placed in freaking, you name it, any institution you can think of, I was there. Juvenile detention, detox, rehabs, mental hospitals, jails. And then they finally, I saw a shrink one time and they said, man, you're not mentally ill and you're not crazy, but you've got these emotional problems stemming basically from a childhood trauma of my parents' divorce when I was really young. It's a common thing, man. And I've talked about this on video before, so I'm not like, whatever, bearing all. I'm just telling you the truth. So whenever I drink, the shrink told me, when you drink, that's when you address your anger. Otherwise, you're a healthy individual, you're a good guy. But if you drink, you're going to have a bad, hard path in life. And if you don't drink, this will work itself out or you'll get help with counseling. Well, guess which path I picked? Yeah, the drinking path. And from 1980 to 94, I drank like that. I was very, very out of control. I cannot believe I never got a felony. I got one in 85 when I was with GG and I got out of it, for possession and distribution of marijuana, and they found a large amount with me or in my apartment and a large amount of cash, and I ended up getting out of that, thank goodness. But that was the only time I was ever facing a felony. You're from Russia. What's up, man? I don't speak English, but I like English. Thank you. Well, thank you for being here. If you're being real, that's wild to have somebody here from Russia. You're certainly welcome to be here, man. And I wish I could speak Russian so I could talk to you. Your dad wasn't there, so you get it either? Yeah. Yep, I had a great mother, so I was blessed because I know people that had no parents that were good, man. I know people that had traumatic childhoods from alcoholic parents, junkie parents, parents that were never home, parents that fought. At least I had one really, really good parent, and that was my mother. So, hey, man, I'm not crying myself a river about it, but it was rough. And my dad's still alive, but my mother's not. Isn't that an ironic thing? It really is. Fred, you said Fred. Hey, what's up, Jimmy Marsh? Jimmy Marsh in the house. He said Fred. What's up with Fred? 24 people here. I'm just having an impromptu, impulsive live to see who's up this late, this early, because I am. Hey, what's up, Dylan? Gutter Snipe in New Zealand. Yeah, dude, I just did this impulsively like 40 minutes ago to see who would pop on here. Dylan's in New Zealand. What's up? Yep. I can't read. Weed is good. No hangovers or anything like that in the morning. You can smoke in the evening and the next day you're absolutely fine, unlike alcohol. You're right. Yep, you're right, man. Screw hangovers and alcohol, both of them. Brutal Enough asked me, am I a spiritual person? Well, yeah, I mean, that's a complex question, but most people that know me really well would probably say that I am. But I'm not a religious person. Insomnia Bloody, that's my name. Staying up all night, that's my game. Yeah. Weed for life. Yeah, man. I first started smoking weed when I was like 13 in 1979. Crazy. Bloody in the house. What's up? What's up, Sherm Smoke? Ha ha ha. There's another image that it says it's held for review because it's got bad words. Ridiculous, man. What's it say? Just watched your arrest video. Good thing you had those leather pants or you might have castrated yourself. That's true, man. Somebody the other day said, what about your underwear? You weren't wearing underwear? I'm like, dude, the underwear were under the leather. I was climbing a fence with barbed wire and the leather or the barbed wire got caught on my goddamn on my dick area and it ripped my underwear and my leather pants. And you're right, I could have been castrated. I never really thought about that. Do I have future plans? Well, right now I'm doing a music video called Dark Days. It's going to be out probably in a month or two. I'm doing a 6-song Plasmatics tribute with West Beach from the Plasmatics. And I'm also working on 3 new country songs and 3 new punk rock songs with my friend Dave Moe, who's on my new Dark Days Unfazed album. Dave's on half this record. He wrote half of it, played the music on half of it. So me and him are sticking together to do another EP together that'll probably just be digital on the internets. But I wanted to do some outlaw country stuff, and I also got some punk tunes I wrote, so we're going to knock those out soon, man. It's about 4 in the morning here, or about 4:15 in the morning, I think, Dylan. Thanks everyone for popping in, man. Like I said, I told Tracy, I'm going to go just jump on live. I've never done this before without, planning it. Kind of seems fun, man, to do something spontaneous. Hello from Middletown, Maryland. Love your recollections of paper trips and rock and roll. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here, man. Maryland. I've never been to Maryland. I've got a couple really good friends there. Brian Dunaway and my friend Amy Berigtold, aka Sasha, from the Pretty Vacant Punk Hour. What's up, Sherm Smoke? Yeah, man. Just chilling. I should go grab my pipe. We should all smoke up together. That's what I need to be doing right now. The first EP by the Scabs was great. Should be reissued one day. Well, all the mastered recordings got burned up in a fire. I'm getting ready to put a t-shirt out, though, with that image on the front, if anyone's interested in that. What person was talking about you? Oh, that's the ggandthejabbers.com website. Yeah, ggallin.thejabbers.com. Whoever's running that, they thought it was funny to put my name with all the stuff they've got for sale by me on there. Instead of Bloody and the Transfusions or Bloody and the Scabs, it's my real name in all these bands. And it's just, I'm not even trying to talk shit about anybody, man. I'm just saying that's not cool, but whatever. You asked me, and I'm not going to not tell you, but I'm not trying to start any trouble with anyone, man. I'm just telling you that's the deal. Greetings from Brighton, UK. What's up, my friend Sean? How you doing, man? Good to catch you live for a change. Yeah, I didn't plan it. I just thought, man, I'm up late. There's nothing else to do. I'm going to hop on here and say hi to people. Yeah, UK. I'd like to come over to England, man. I've only been to Scotland, never been to Ireland or England or Wales, and I want to. Definitively want to. Dark Days Unfazed, my latest album on CD, cassette tape, and vinyl. Man, why can't I have some coffee right now or some tea? That's what I need, man. I need something to smoke or drink. We all need stuff, man. Yeah, the old master recordings from all my recordings are all gone. They all burned, all of them. I have none for any of them. And plus, I don't own the recordings to most of them. Most of the records I put out were on other labels that own those recordings. I own the songs. Like, I could go re-record 6th Grade Field Trip right now if I want to, but I can't, I can't use the recordings that Black and Blue Records bought for me at the time. Any of my records are all the labels get those recordings, but you retain the rights to the songs. So I couldn't reissue those records if I wanted to. Now, the Bloody Mess and the Scabs first EP, I could reissue that, but it would have to be low quality because I'd have to take the recording from something other than, it'd have to come from the vinyl. It's on vinyl, so I'd have to take that vinyl and transfer it, and that's how it would sound on, well, I don't know how I would do that. Never mind. Yeah, man, it could be done though. There's ways to do stuff these days digitally too. Who knows? Because what happened was the guy that put that out disappeared. When the guy that put out the first Scab 7-inch, his name was Rich Riegler. When he found out that Gacy did the cover art for it, he told me that he worked for the government and that he could no longer have any contact with me, and he just disappeared, right? Well, I had already sent him the artwork, all the recordings, everything, and I was bummed. Thought, well, that's that. And then about a month and a half later, still never talked to me ever again, but I got a box in the mail of that record. 600 copies arrived, man. It was killer. I didn't have to pay for anything. I didn't have to sign any contracts. He just started a label called Mephisto Records, and this guy out on the East Coast put it out and disappeared from my life. So I have the rights to that by legally. Would I go back to the 80s if I could? If I could go back to the 80s and then come back to now, yeah, but yeah, I would. I'd go back and be decadent as hell and drink one more time. I'd go back and get really drunk. Someone the other day, my buddy Sean said, "Man, I miss drinking." I'm like, "Me too." It's like, but the thing is, we're smart enough to know that we can't put our bodies through that at this age, man. I'll be 60 in March, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to go through that now and start blacking out and doing stupid shit and losing friends at this age. It would be really hard to get out of it. Back then I could get out of it, man, but I think at this age it would be look pretty stupid. But yeah, if I could go back for a minute, maybe, but I'd also go back to the 50s and see like Jerry Lee Lewis perform or Little Richard or something, you know, or back further than that, go hang out with like the people from the Lumerian days or, you know, down the, never mind. Root Boy Slim. Yeah, I love that old blues stuff, man. I'm a big fan of the blues for sure, jazz too. When was the last time when you were drunk for good? The last time I got really drunk was 2013. I was in a band called the Bloody Mess Rock Circus, and I hadn't been really drunk in a long time. And when I did get drunk, I never got like mean or anything like that. But this night, we played at a strip club. And when we played the strip club, I blacked out. I don't really remember what happened at the strip club, except for I think I was handling the merchandise, the things that you're there to, you know, the people that you're there to watch and check out at a strip club. I think I was going a little too far in a lot of different directions, and I'm not going to say anything else. It was pretty out there, man. But we played there, and I lost my shit, got really, really wasted, and then got to the hotel and locked my band out of the hotel. All of our girlfriends were crying. Everybody was freaking out. I was super angry and just flipping out. I locked the door at the hotel, wouldn't let anybody in. They had to call security on me. I let them in, and then I raged to the point to where security kept coming. Finally, I told my bass players a bunch of really negative stuff, and he got pissed off. And then I decided I was going to physically take him on, and all this shit happened. And then he left. He drove the 3 hours down from Redmond, Oregon, down to Medford. Him and his chick left, and they took my car keys with them. So I wake up the next day, and I'm like, whoa. Oh, it all came flooding back. My guitar player, he wakes up. Where's Christopher? Where's the bass player and his girlfriend? He has no recollection of anything. The drummer, he's completely depressed because he had just joined the band, had done like 3 gigs with us, and we were getting ready to do a 13-state U.S. East Coast tour, and it was a fucking nightmare. That was the last time I got drunk. There's a lot of stories, man, that I'm just not even going to go into right now because I'm going to put them on YouTube and I think everything is about timing. I really do. Last time I talked to Merle, God, years ago, man, I opened up for Merle, a band called the Cutthroats, flew me out to Texas in 2014, and they learned a set of my tunes, and I opened up for the Murder Junkies at a place called the Limelight, which you can find on YouTube, but Bloody Mess and the Cutthroats, 2014, San Antonio, the whole show, 45 minutes or so. So we opened up for Merle, I flew back, and then a few years after that, Merle was a guest on my radio show because I host a 25-year FM radio show. And Merle was a guest on the show for the second or third time. And then he came to Southern Oregon after that and performed once or twice. And I went to the Pirate Punk's house where he was hanging out with Dino, hung out with him, and I haven't talked to Merle or heard from Merle ever since. The last thing I heard from Merle was his interview on the Soft White Underbelly video channel where he mentioned me. That's the last. I haven't had any contact with Merle. Sorry, I can't read this very good, so just looking at stuff. Looking at stuff, man. I want to be smoking a bowl, but I left my stuff in the other room, and I feel rude getting up and leaving you guys here in silence. Speaking about blah blah blah, what you say about yeah, I'd say he's a little crazy. If you want to know what happened, I was at the Pirate Punk's house. Me and the Pirate Punk, the guy that lives there and runs the whole thing, that used to, Gabe Hoover, and respectively, and his wife Laura, respectively. There was me and them two, and maybe I think one fan that was like 15-year-old kid and like his girlfriend. And that was it. And there was Merle and Dino. While we were there hanging out, Merle and Dino were joking around, getting weird, and being kind of strange, doing their thing, and we're all talking, hanging. And next thing you know, Dino gets up on a table pulls his pants down. He's naked. Merle shoves a Coke bottle in his ass all the way in. I shit you not. And when I was just like, okay, are these guys putting on a show for me? Are they putting on a show for the Pirate Punks? Because no one here is shocked by it, or like, you know, dude, I've seen it all, right? I was just like, what are they doing? But it was like this far away from me that it was happening, you know what I mean? And the Pirate Punks or Laura was taking pictures of the whole thing, like real close up and kind of laughing. So maybe it was a humorous act. I don't know what the deal with that was, but that happened. And I kept thinking, what in the fuck am I watching? That's hot. Haha. But yeah, man. Anyway, that was a story that happened. I'm not judging nobody. Yeah, I'm just telling you stories. That's all. You're here, so let's talk about stories. I'm so tempted to go get that bowl. Not in front of a kid. Yeah, I was like a 15-year-old kid. I was thinking that was curious. View message. Another bad message. Ha ha ha. Okay. Someone says, bend over and let me dominate you. Fuck yourself. Let's see. Dino is the best choice to be the best drummer for GG. Yeah, he's a crazy dude, man. Go, we'll wait. You guys got sense of humor, man. I like it. Have I ever smoked Sherm? What's Sherm? What is Sherm? Oh, there's another message that's being blocked for my safety because it's got bad words. Oh no, what will I ever do? Got it, man. So this person is doing it again, and I got to keep clicking things saying got it. I have a drumstick that he put up his, you know what, in Denver. That's funny. What a souvenir. I used to have a GG mic that he shoved, you know where, that was smelly, and it ended up at the Scabs practice house for years, and we would have to actually use that sometimes because other mics would break, and we'd be like, oh no, you got to use the GG mic. No, you got to use the GG mic. That thing got lost long ago, but yeah, that was a thing. Some message just got retracted. I think it was, quit being a wanker, YM. Don't be a wanker. There's no room for wankers here. Don't be a freaking wanker. 32 people in the house. Southern Oregon. Alive. 4:30 in the morning. Woohoo! I need to take my sleeping aids. I should take them now, and then you guys can watch me fall out. Like that time I interviewed a famous rock star when I was using drugs a long time ago on a video, and I nodded out for 15 minutes, and I woke up and he was gone, and I watched the video and I was just appalled at what I saw. That was a fucking nightmare. Did I ever catch the Misfits or Sam Hain live? Yeah, I saw Sam Hain, man, at the Smart Bar in Chicago in '84. There's a story on this channel about that. I actually watched him with about 50, 75 people, including the band Hanoi Rocks, who was in the room with me watching Sam Hain. They played like on a floor. There was no stage. It was a real small in the Smart Bar. It was great. Oh, there's another censored message. I got to read it to you guys. Have I ever? No, but your mom probably has. Yeah, another moderator's handling all my perverted messages people are sending me. It's just one person though, and it doesn't offend me. What's some of your favorite punk bands? The Cramps, the Ramones, the Sex Pistols, the Dead Kennedys, the DOA, the Germs, the Screamers, the Adolescents, DI, Christian Death, Sam Hain, I said the Ramones, pretty much all the good stuff, man. You have 2 drumsticks that Dino asked me to shove up his blah, blah, blah. I was reluctant, but it was at it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to look like a chicken. You guys can read these messages. I don't have to read them out loud, right? Hey, YM, if you're watching this, you suck, man. Yeah, just one time if she was drunk. Get out of here, loser. Troll away somewhere else, man. See, I don't know if you guys can see these messages I'm getting, but they might be popping up on the screen. This loser keeps putting up nasty stuff. Troll boy RD has no self-esteem, so he has to troll me. Another moderate. See, what happens is if you do a live and somebody sends you a message that's considered questionable for any reason, they make it to where you don't have to put it on your screen. You have to look at it first, right? So this guy is just spamming me, just being a dick. And every time I go to do it, something about it, it says another moderator handled this. Now, I don't know what that other moderator is doing to handle it because it's not stopping, but this idiot's trolling me, man, you guys. You can't see his messages? Okay, cool. Good. It's some wanker with the name YM. Hey, YM. My little birdie. Hello from Cape Breton Island. Ah, hello. Where the heck is Cape Breton Island? Somebody tell me. I have never heard of Cape Breton Island. This person says, yeah. Can somebody do something about that dude on your ends? Everybody report that YM guy for being a dick because he's just trying to ruin my flow. You know what I mean? I have to go with the flow. And if some dumbass is coming in here taking away my ability to concentrate on your awesome and excellent comments, by God, this person should be removed. So whatever you got to do to, yeah, he said, look in the mirror. Yeah, real clever, man. Ooh, gee, how long did it take you to think of that piece of shit, stupid comeback, dude? You're such a loser. Okay, man, everybody report this dude as harassment. Everybody's probably laughing at me thinking, we don't give a damn. Make someone here a moderator. How do I even do that? I normally am not in favor of narking on people or censorship, but when someone tries to like step in and ruin everything, offended? No, I'm not offended. Your level of complete idiocy is something I've never really had to deal with. I'm not offended. It's really hard to offend me, to be honest. You see, I still have a sense of humor and I'm still dealing with you and I haven't reported you, have I? So I'm asking everyone to do it at once because I think it would be funny to just kick your ass out with everyone else doing it as a group. You reported him. Thank you, man. Anybody else want to report that wanker? Yeah, because people like that are just guys that can't get it up, you know? Guys that wish they could get a girl instead of just having to look at porn on the internet, you know? Guys that have never been with chicks. Guys with real teeny penises. Y'all are snitches. No, they're not. They're just not going to let an idiot like you ruin a party, you dumbass. Back in the day, you would have been bitch slapped so quick, dude. If you were like at a real party doing this stuff, you would have just been pushed out the door by your face, bro. Triggered and offended. Yeah, right. It takes a lot more than trigger. I live in 2025. Do you think I'm offended by anything, dude? Turn on the goddamn any social media any time of the day. You can't be offended. Really, you're even shocked. It's just about how more shocking will it get today. That's about how this day is, how the days are today, you know. But I digress. Free speech, buddy. Free speech. Yeah, free speech, man. And freedom to kick your ass out the door if you say things that are bullshit or spamful. So you have free speech, and I support that. But you have to support my right to punch you in the face if I don't like it. Which I wouldn't do. But I would click report. And I'm not doing it because my friends are doing it for me right now. They're all saying they're reporting you, dude. So later, loser. He's got a crush on me. I think you're right. I think he's got a crush on me. And, you know, I'll zip my lip, man, because I'm going to get myself in trouble. There's a lot of people going to watch this later and go, look at this idiot up at 4 a.m. talking this crap to this troll. He's totally triggered. I say premium YT is not going to do anything to me. Hey, don't want to lose money. Whatever, man. Interfere and distribute. There's nobody distributing my music except for like online. Punk Media is doing that for me. When I put out the album, it came out on Ragged Records and Fanatic Records on vinyl. And then it came out on cassette tape on Bird Eater Entertainment. So those people distribute it. You know, Ragged Records has it in the stores in Iowa. Bird Eater Entertainment has mail order. They do all kinds of stuff on social media. They do live performances where they sell the merchandise. So my cassettes and tapes sell that way, or the cassettes and the vinyl. And then the CDs I put out on my label, Fanatic Records, and I pretty much have those in about 10, 12 stores across the country. And I sell them through my email. Yeah, thanks for all the comments, you guys. I'm just trying to read them real quick. Appreciate you guys being here, man. It's been like an hour or so. Yeah, I'll probably hang out for a few more minutes. Yep, a lot of cool people in this tribe, that's for sure, man. There's like maybe one in every 1,000 that seems like they're uncool. So that's pretty good, man, I think. Yeah, getting records from the US to Europe is very pricey. You know what? Everything's pricey, man, now. You're right, man. Vinyl to make vinyl is astronomical. I couldn't believe it. We used to make records back in the 80s and 90s, back in the old days, but it was so cheap. Now it's just like, it's how much for 100 records? It's nuts. You got to charge $30 minimum to even break even, dude, or whatever. Yeah, it's harder to get them over there, huh? Yeah, I used to collect records, but back in 2020, there was a big fire that many of you know about that is called the Alameda Fire that went through California and Oregon. And basically, most of my stuff was burned up. 95% of all my life's possessions were burned. So I had this huge collection that I won't go into. But once that happened, I learned unattachment because in 1985, I also lost most of my stuff. So twice in my life, I lost it all. And then finally, it hit me like the Buddhist taught me, attachment is the cause of all suffering. And if you can get rid of attachment and expectations, you're going to get rid of a whole lot of suffering in your life before it ever happens. So once that happened, it took me a couple years to deal with it. And then I finally came to the conclusion that, you know what? It did me a favor. I don't have all this stuff anymore because I had 2 huge storage sheds. It was great stuff. And I do have a small collection now, but everything that I own is basically for sale. If you ask me to sell you something that I own, and if I really like it, I'm going to put a high price on it. But if you say I'll pay it, I'll probably take it. You know why? I'm broke. You have to make money, man. And right now, that's what I do. I hustle for a living, and I've got some things in the works to sell, like some cool T-shirts I'm putting out soon, and a really rare EP's coming out soon that I'm putting out on Fanatic Records, and it'll be out in about 3 weeks. And I'm not going to say another word about that, except that it's extremely rare, and a lot of people are going to be pretty happy about it, I think. Yeah, import taxes, that's a bummer because I do an eBay store called Fanatic Pop Culture. And the people that from like Canada and other places, they're reluctant to buy from me because if the prices are already kind of high for collectible things, then they got to pay this ridiculous shipping fee, which is almost identical to how much they're paying for the item. It's really a bummer, man. Yeah, everything in the USA is really going up. They keep raising the USPS rates about every month. I am not kidding. It's just really getting crazy, man. And I don't know how like small businesses are going to continue because in order to do that kind of, people are not going to want to pay that kind of shipping eventually, and it's going to kill so many businesses. Just so much going on right now in this world, and I do not and I will not talk politics here though. So see how I almost slid into that? Not going to do it. Yeah, same there in Europe. Yeah, it's a bummer, man. Everything costs so much, and I could say a lot right now that I want to say, but I'll just keep it in, man. What are we all going to be listening to in the care home in 20 something years from now? I'll be listening to Anarchy in the UK, done an easy listening style. Taking my meds and smashing the system. Good one, man. Well, that's cool. We're like in the age of the first age now where we have old punk rockers. Time went quick, man. Back in the old days, there was no old punk rockers because it was new. But now here we are in 2025. You got, all the punk rockers like my age and people that were around before me back in the late 70s, early mid 70s, late 70s, early 80s. God, I'm almost 60. These guys are all, in their 70s and stuff. Charlie Harper's what, 80, 81 now from the UK subs. Iggy Pop is 77, I think, who I just saw in Portland recently, and he kicked ass, by the way. Good morning, Nick. What's up, man? I'm just doing an impromptu live. I didn't plan this. I just thought I'd pop on at 3:30 in the morning, and that was about an hour and 15 minutes ago. So yeah. But yeah, man, I don't think I'll ever make it to a nursing home. I think that shit's gonna hit the fan in this world, and I'm not gonna get any deeper into it because it'll make you guys bum out. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie either. I just think the shit's gonna hit the fan. I don't think I'll ever make it to the nursing home. If I do, well, I don't want to make it to a nursing home. I want to be able to be healthy and happy and not be in any kind of assisted living, man. But if that day ever happens, I just hope that I can, like you said, listen to rock and roll still. And to be honest, I know people that are in assisted livings and nursing homes, and you know what? They get along just fine, man, and they're aging gracefully instead of with misery, man, and they still do listen to rock and roll, get older, but a lot of habits don't ever die. Another thing that these old punk rockers now are dying one by one, sad, really. Well, yeah, but death is really not just a door opening, and there's no actual death. Did you know scientifically, energy never changes, energy can't die, it only changes form. And we are all made up of energy. Everything is vibration and frequency, and scientifically, energy never dies and it can't. So it changes form. So what we perceive as death is just your belief system, because everyone has a different belief about death. Some people think you go right to a casket and that's it. Some people believe in reincarnation. Some people believe in the heaven and hell thing. It goes on and on and on, right? So who's right? Who knows? All I know is I have my beliefs, and I believe I'm a soul temporarily living in a human body, and it's all self-created. And I believe we all have the power within us to do pretty much anything. Om Namah Shivaya. Yeah, he's saying Om to me. That's right, man. Om. It's all in the breath. It really is. One time, some Indian dude said, yeah, the only thing about Americans and the Western people is they don't know how to breathe. And I thought, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I breathe out my nose or I breathe out my mouth. But that's not what they meant, man. Breath work can do a lot for you, man. That's why people meditate. But that's a whole nother ball game and another topic. Yeah, believe in whatever and don't judge. I like that a lot, Chris. Yeah, I'm not pushing my beliefs on anybody. I'm just talking my stuff, man. I'm not expecting anyone to go, oh, I'm jumping on that bandwagon. Nah, I'm not preaching at all. Just exerting any wisdoms I might have accumulated in my thick skull all these years. And in my heart, I guess. But yeah, I don't judge anybody. I know everybody, like a lot of people, I'm not Islamic and I'm not Muslim, but I learned earlier today that people, they've tried to hide for years and years. Did you know that Muslim people actually believe in Jesus Christ more than they do like Allah? Yep, Jesus is way more into their religion than than you know. I watched this crazy documentary about how it's crazy, man. But anyway, I like to study that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm not any religion. I always say my religion is love, and I have a song on my new album, and it's called My Religion is Love, and you can hear that on YouTube. Was there any gigs you had outside the USA? No, to be honest, I've never played outside the USA, but I've played in about 32 states. Yep, all religions have some wisdom and some good to some degree for sure. Breath work is perfect. Yeah, man. Roy Harper says he started breath work recently, and I'm totally right. I don't know what the documentary was called. I watch a lot of stuff, man. I'm always trying to educate myself, especially on Eastern philosophies, Eastern religions, Eastern spiritualities, Eastern holistic medicines. I mean, look, even like China, they've been making these certain medicines for thousands of years, and there's a reason. Our country's what, 200, 300 years old or whatever it is. There's these Indians, man, in India. They wrote this book called the Bhagavad Gita that was around like 10,000 years ago, and they don't even know the origin of it. But I've read that book, and everything that's happening today, it's detailed vividly in that book. That's why I'm pretty adamant in what's going to happen coming up, because so far I've read that book, and everything that's happened up in the last 10 years, it's spelled out in there, and it scares me to death, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to tell you what that book says. You'll have to read the Bhagavad Gita to find that out, because I don't want to freak people out. So yeah, I'm getting ready to reread the Bhagavad Gita. I just put it in my room yesterday, and I don't read enough anymore. I need to read more because people say, "Oh, time's going so much faster." Nope, it's because we're spending more time on social media. Or I should say, too much time on social media will make time go faster, for sure. You get on social media for a couple hours, and next thing you know, it's like 5 in the morning or your whole day's shot, right? And if you do that accumulatively all the time, it's going to make life go really quick. So it definitely is an addiction, man. It's like a vortex. So says the guy doing YouTube videos daily. Yeah, I don't care for one particular religion or another either. I just like to extract the wisdoms and the truths from all the things I learn and apply it to my own life. You know, a lot of my friends are Christians. I have Muslim friends, Hindu friends, Jains, you know, people that are hardcore Catholics, people that are a lot of Buddhist friends, you know, and if I'm going to lean one way or the other, it would be towards the Hindu and Buddhist side. But, you know, again, all of them have something to learn from, for sure. Yeah, there's all kinds of theories that Jesus was studied in India for many years, and that he studied over there with Krishna, if you believe in Krishna, and that he learned, you know, meditation and breath work and all that stuff. Yep, I've heard that a lot, man. The Apocrypha are the missing books that were removed from the Bible, which my wife has a 4.0 master's degree in psychology and another degree in religious studies, right? And man, the stuff I've learned, the Apocrypha are the books that were removed from the Bible, very close to the Buddhist and Hindu writings. It teaches a lot more things that are in those books, but they don't really want the people to know about meditation in the Western cultures for some reason. Nice. What have I been listening to lately? You know, I've been listening to a lot of stuff, man. I listened to a lot of punk rock, a lot of rock and roll, a lot of outlaw country. I've been listening to the Exploited Troops of Tomorrow album. I've been listening to a lot of Waylon Jennings. I listened to some surf punks earlier. I listened to a couple of Christian Death records today. I've been jamming on some 1096, you know, some hardcore. I'd never met El Duce, but I interviewed him once, and there's a story on this channel about that. I interviewed El Duce a couple of years before he died, maybe 3 years, and I'd call his house, and he'd be too drunk to talk to me, and he said, "Send me the interview in the mail." So I did. I mailed him a handwritten interview. He sent it back to me, and I had that interview forever until it burned up in the fires of 2020. But good thing I published that interview in my Fanatic fanzine back in the day, 93 or 94, something like that. And I still have that fanzine, so I still have the interview with El Duce. But if you check out the video section of this channel, there's a lot of videos I've done in the last year and a half, you guys, a whole shit ton that you might have never seen. So scroll down, and there's some pretty wacky stories, I assure you, about being held at gunpoint, about taking LSD, about catching certain rock stars in sex acts like opium, you know, just tons of stuff, man. There's this story about John Hinckley Jr. getting a hold of me, the assassin, all kinds of crazy stuff. So look, man, I'm probably going to wrap it up, you guys. I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, and I feel like I better get some rest. It's been awesome talking to the tribe this late at night. It's kind of fun how you guys just kept it going all night, man, throwing stuff at me. I appreciate that. I tried to address everybody that I could. I appreciate all you guys that have subscribed to my channel, and all the cool comments that I get a lot. And the haters are real slim. I get them, but not very often, man. Not very often at all. But when I do, they're usually pretty bad. So they make up for it in complete sadistic greatness. You joined too late. Yeah, sorry, man. I've been on for a while, and I had no plans on when to get off here. I just thought I was gonna get on and talk to the tribe, the late night, early morning tribe, you know. That's what I call the rock and roll crew, the tribe. It feels good to have a tribe because I don't really connect. Not a lot of my family members that I talk to. My brother Steve, I'm in touch with a lot. Love you, Steve. I hope he's watching this. And there's other family members, but not many. So I have mostly my friends are my family, and I consider a lot of you people to be, you know, part of the same tribe. So if you believe we're family and I believe we're family, we're family. All right, good to see you, and good to see that you were here, Nick. I appreciate it, Mr. Charles. Thank you, Jason. Peace, my friend. Brutal enough. Cheers to you, man. Talk to you later, bloody Guar fan. Yeah, cheers to Canada, man. I love Canada, by the way. Peace, Jason. Random question, but you a big Doobie Brothers guy? I am. Yep, I love the Doobie Brothers, man. I love 70s music. I grew up in the 70s on that radio, you know. So yeah, the Doobie Brothers are one of my favorite bands. Love them. Feel like hearing it right now, man. You know, all the way up to even, you know, like minute by minute with Michael McDonald and stuff. Anyway, man, later on, my friends, thanks for attending this impulsive, completely unplanned live that I didn't think would last this long, but I appreciate you guys so much. And good night, good morning, Andy. He says good night, good morning, whatever. Yeah, I'm getting ready to crash out, man. I'm an idiot. I sleep way too late in the day, and I gotta crash, man. Here I am getting undressed in front of you guys. I'm zombieing out and haven't taken my meds yet, and I'm this weird. Does not compute. Love you, bro. Love you back, man. Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here. And I'll catch you next time that I do an completely impulsive, live, unplanned chat. I think I'll do it like this all the time, man. I think planning stuff sucks. Just kidding. All right, man. Hi. Hey, man. I gotta go. Because this is some good stuff, man. Yeah. Now, wouldn't you freak if real smoke came out? I would too. All right, man. Be good, guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks for supporting my channel. And make sure if your mom's alive, you give her a hug. If you got a dog, give it a pat on the head for me. And if your dad's alive, shake his hand for me. And if your sister's around, tell her, hello. All right, man. I'll stop. She says stop. That's either because I'm embarrassing myself or because you're laughing at me. One of the two. But most likely I'm embarrassing myself. I never know when to stop. My daughter always tells me, my youngest daughter always says, you always have to take things just a little too far. All right, man, I'll stop. Later. Later, dude. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure I want to go. Please let me go. Please.